This is Moses Heaps with Trolling Stone magazine, and tonight I'm going to share the accounts of my recent trip to Bim, West Virginia, where I had a chance to sit down with highly multi-talented internet superstar Derkie White Castle. Known as Outlaw by some and Dapper Dandy by more, I asked the tough questions that the world and its fans want to know. First, my journey began when I parked my rental car between a dusty Ford Mustang with four flat tires and what appeared to be the frame of a Banshee four-wheeler in a muddy parking area outlined by railroad cross ties and many, many cigarette butts. I approached the rusted-out single-wide trailer slowly and knocked upon the door. The door immediately fell off of what appeared to be duct tape and Velcro hinges. It didn't get much better from that as I was invited in by a crypt keeper looking woman. That's when I got my first glance at Scooter as he dove behind a couch where a weird shirtless man sat with many jailhouse tattoos and one big swastika over his nipple. Oh, God. Get out from behind there now, squirrel. He's just here to ask you a couple of questions. No, it ain't Tim Tam. You get out from behind there, squirrel. Look, squirrel. Come on out from there now. After a few minutes, the brother and the mother coaxed him out from behind the couch with a set of keys, and he bummed an L&M cigarette off of the mother figure and settled down for a question. The first thing I wanted to touch on was the high amount of guns and guitars just laying around with recording equipment, semi-automatic weapons being used as coasters for cans of Starburst. I said, how did you pay for these guns, and how'd you afford all this crap? Well, I can help with that, too. See, me and my husband Chig, they're all in Chig's name, and we bought 'em. But we let Derek take care of 'em, don't we, Squirrel? He's my little friend, ain't you? Yes, he's special, and he takes care of the guns and keeps those guitars in tune, don't you, little buddy?
You know, she's bought most of my equipment, everything. That's how much she wants me to do it, you know. You know what I mean? It's my baby girl. It wasn't for her. You know what I mean? I think I would have quit this shit. I was starting to get aggravated with a lot of things.
Don't get aggravated. We love you, little squirrel. I do.
I love you more, crazy, mean ass. Don't worry. I'm always behind you, sweetheart, 110%.
I know.
Just like you believe in me, I believe in you, okay? That's why we have that special bond. Ain't that right, Miss Bonnie Parker?
It was nice, but yet very strange how well they got along. I mean, here you have 3 generations, 6 people, and many dogs and small rodents, all living in one drafty, mildew-smelling tin can. Guitars and guns were not nearly at the top of the highly multi-talented list of high multi-talents that Scooter possesses. He is rarely seen not wearing a football jersey. Usually it's the same football jersey of the Browns, I assume, to match the shit stains and dirt all over the rest of his clothes, but I still had to ask about the seemingly undocumented, unphotographed season of made-up semi-pro football that Scooter claims to have played. But much like the dirty t-shirts and empty liquor bottles that he sells and claims to send to his fans, nobody has yet to see any proof, or any pudding, unless that was pudding on the bottom of his diaper that he was wearing that day. So I had to ask, since there's no record of a game being played, what would it have been like if I was a fan and I would have been there and, what would I have seen watching this field where we go out there doing? Like, what would I have seen?
Watch us get beat to death by fucking look like a high school team out there. Look like the Van Bulldogs on crack.
And how come you are not playing for them now?
Oh, because I'm not good enough to play for them.
So since you weren't good enough to play the football, you decided to go into YouTubes and podcasts. And what makes you think people are going to listen to you speak on that shit?
A lot of people are because they're just quarantined and they ain't got nothing better to do. They're like, fuck it, I'll watch it, you know what I mean? See what it's about.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people do shit like that. Hey, everybody in here is wild and wonderful white fathers.
But the fact is, you're not even a white. Your father was a castle. Which brings me to the next subject of your actual father, who is named Derkie Castle. Is that right? Or am I right or am I wrong?
Exactly, buddy. That dude said mine.
Then you do understand that usually only a woman after she's married might keep her maiden name hyphenated. And you, from what I can tell, you're not married. You are a bitch, but you are not a female, so you're not a white. You are a castle.
That's the only way I'll live, guys. You know, I'm not gonna go flip fucking burgers at McDonald's. I'm dirty. I got a name, you know, and I'm gonna use that name. My name has White Castle in it. I'm a castle and I'm a white. Like my name, I could make it White Castle, but it's Castle White.
White Castle White, whatever you want to call him. He wasn't sure which to put in front of the other. Either way he put it, I could tell that the questions about his name and the identity of his father had caused some activity inside his brain that he wasn't used to. His eyes darted around, and he kept looking at me with just one eye from the side and kind of flexing at me real weird. And every now and then he'd mumble hater at me and try to cover up his 5 or 6 teeth that was still left hanging in his head. And I said, well, who are these haters that you're so scared of, and why do you block them, and you're afraid to talk to them? I said, why, what's going on with these haters, and who are they?
Damn double fucking cheeseburger. Fucking goddamn Big Mac sauce special. Weakest Slink's about to come on his ass, though.
Oh, God.
Just sitting together, right on police station, more likely. Sitting all together, like, reporting. You know, I had a cop call me. He was like, Derkie. You know what I mean? When he's taking me to jail one night, he's like, dude, we get like 13 calls a day when you go live. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? You know what I mean? I was like, he's like, yeah. He's like, I just tell them motherfuckers to shut their mouths. It's circumstantial.
It's okay now, Derkie. It's okay. Now, don't be getting emotional on me now. It's all right. They're not here. It's just us. Nobody's going to get you now. It was clear that at this point in the interview he was very shook up, and again he cried on his mother's shoulder, and we tried to convince him that nobody's there to come and get him. No Tim and no Carolina Cowboy. Nobody's coming in there. It's just us. I said, well, would you feel better if I let you talk on your favorite topics? Maybe talk about your merch or your podcast. And his ears actually perked up, and he had a few things to say.
The more people donate, the more you hear me, just me. And everybody donate to the site, man. That's what's causing us, to lose here. If we don't get the right donations, we don't get to make part 2. We don't get to make a podcast.
Yes, we've heard you talk about that podcast for almost a year now, and have yet to see anything except you sitting in front of some microphones that obviously were not even plugged in.
I don't want to talk much about that because...
Yeah, I'd say not. But it doesn't take much to make a podcast. If you have just a regular phone, you can make something out of nothing, it seems like. What seems to be your biggest holdup?
It's almost $1,000 worth of merchandise was stolen out of my house, and it was stolen by my fucking nephew.
But I thought you already got it back, so it's not making sense, Scooter. Now, am I right or am I wrong?
Remember, everybody said, oh, you're lying.
Well, after hearing about it for so long, I understand why most people do think you're lying, because most of the shit that comes out of your mouth is a lie.
It will feature some of the family members from the other ones, but not all. Some's deceased, and some don't want nothing to do with it no more.
Of course.
Okay? But me, Derkie, the one that does the Boone County mating call, I want to show you guys something. Also, there's shirts that, just like the one I wear.
Oh, we've seen them.
I have them specially made airbrush shirts. You can go on to my my Facebook and watch my live feed
Don't
and
do
check
that,
some
people.
of those shirts out. And if you're interested in buying any merchandise, just contact me, because I'm not running through no websites or anything like that. Somebody always wants to make a penny somewhere, and this guy here got ripped off.
You think you got ripped off? Good Lord, I've seen at least 12 different people on your sites getting ripped off where you bought 2 shirts. We've seen the receipts, boy, where you bought 2 shirts and you've sold those things 12 times and never sent a single one of them out. Now, I don't understand how you get away with this so long. Somebody ain't come up here in this tin can and knock the rest of the teeth out your mouth, but you've got away with it so far.
Nothing compared to what I'm about to bring to the table. You know what I mean? And I got my real people that follow me that actually know what I'm doing. I had all the haters. You ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. Really? Why do I have microphones that cost probably more than your goddamn fucking rent?
Well, your mama says that her husband paid for them, Chig, and that's how you got everything, pretty much. Because, hell, you don't work, son. You can only get so much money selling your food stamps and your pills. I mean, that's what I understand is where all these guitars come from as well, and all these guns. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even understand how you afford the cigarettes you smoking while you're sitting here, because you've never worked a day in your life, and if it wasn't for Chig, you'd probably be living out there in that scrap car that you got out in the yard. And I just have no idea where any of this other crap would even came from.
Remember the old company stores?
Okay, yeah.
And the spread money. My dad bought them guns like that, bro. That's how young I was. Remember watching him buy guns with script money.
Okay, so you wouldn't have been alive any time in the 60s when they stopped using script money, you lying piece of shit. So you're not going to sit here and talk to me like this no more. I said, good Lord, I've heard enough. You're not going to use my Trolling Stone magazine piece as a way to scam more people out of their hard-earned money, Scooter. So you just stop that shit right now. And I'll tell you something else. I got some better questions for you, maybe a little hard-hitting. It's been said by a couple people inside of your family that you seem to enjoy the sexual company of the same sex. Seems as though your last fiance caught you in a bathroom stall with a large African-American man's Johnson wedged in between those jaggedy teeth in your mouth. Another time, a handicapped man traded you a Cleveland Browns hat for your brown eye. Now, how do you respond to those accusations?
They can take that rainbow flag and shove it right where they like it. My cousin begged me not to do what I did.
But you did.
I did.
Of course you did, because you're Derkie. And you're a homosexual. But at least you do seem to embrace the gay community.
If it wasn't for us queers, you fags wouldn't be here.
That's good for you, Scooter. And if you could come up with 3 words to describe you, what would it be?
A liar, a thief, and a fucking faggot.
Makes sense to me.
This is white fucking pride around here. Heritage, not hate, motherfuckers.
I said, now calm down now, little Carvey. Don't get mad at me. I know these revelations are tough for you to put out there for the world to hear and for your fans to know that you have never worked a day in your life or had a driver's license or know who your father was or the fact that you are not even a white at all. All you are is a scared, scamming, retarded bisexual who lives with his mother in his cousin's trailer. And in fact, I do have a message for you from your aunt.
They come down and make Derkie Castle's goddamn brains out and hang Bo up on a goddamn swag titties to all fuck their brains out.
That's funny.
If you think that's funny, Mr. Derkie, why are you going into your bedroom now? What's going on here?
I stay in my goddamn room all day. I ain't about the whispering shit, and for all you motherfucking fake people, don't message me, don't answer, you know what I mean? Please don't. Please don't. Please don't act fucking fake and act like you're something else to me. Because there's been so many of you in the past week. You're nothing. Every one of you ain't been nothing but goddamn fake.
And with that, he got into his bed and covered up with his bed sheets. It looked like that he had had since 1985, covered in crusty shit stains, and burn holes, and Oh, it was just disgusting, but it was obvious that the interview part of his conversation was done for the day. After bringing Scooter to tears and leaving him pouting and crying in his childhood nursery room, only to peek out to make sure that there was no Triple Nickel or Alfie or Robbie Oddball pulling up to kick his ass today, I decided to finally mention the elephant in the room. Literally. A bloated, greasy-haired female wearing crusty pajama pants and a tank top that was 4 days past needing a wash. Her name was Shanika Skanka, something like that, and all she had pretty much done is sit around agreeing with whatever shit happened to spew out of Derkie's mouth at any time of the day, right or wrong. So I ask the big question, what the fuck are you doing here? Still in shock, apparently, from all the revelations that had just hit her about her hero of the day, Mr. Derkie, she sat staring off into space like some sort of drugged out Teletubby. That's when the Crypt Keeper woman spoke up again. That's Dirk's fiance. She came here from Virginia and left her 2 kids with her elderly mother and quit her job and come here to live with us. We use her kids' food stamps, and sometimes I can get her to do my dishes. Mainly, she's just Durkee's bitch that does whatever he says for pills or crank or pot, Suboxone, paint thinner, pretzels, Starburst, little packs of sugar, anything really.
It's all legit truth, and we have been busy for this past week. We've had a lot of church stuff going on and helping out with everybody around the community.
The fuck helping with community? What about those 2 kids that you left back in Virginia and you ain't been down there since May to see them? I mean, these kids are at least 6 hours away.
I'm 3 hours away from my kids, and I talk to my kids every day. You go?
Actually, you young heifer, you're over 6 hours away, and what the fuck does it matter if you call them every day? A mother is supposed to be there for her kids 24/7. If there's a trouble, you're supposed to be there, not... Well, let me see if I can get Mama on the phone, or if she's got the glass dick stuck in her mouth tonight.
Something to say, like, it's just so fucking funny to me.
Well, I guess what your drug-addled ass thinks is funny, I consider sad. I think about those kids on Christmas without a mother, without any presents, and basically wonder where the fuck their mother went. She was here until we turned 6 and 7, wonder where the hell she went now. Oh, here she is on the internet, getting beat up by some retarded bird-looking man, saying that her vagina is deeper than the Grand Canyon and smells like a carp. Oh, that's a great way to come off of Christmas. Merry Christmas, kids.
Oh, she will for her kids. Motherfucker, I got a whole house 3, but trust me, I'm on vacation right now, buddy. You wish...
Well, I guess the same person that would consider 8 months at a meth trailer in West Virginia away from her kids a 8-month vacation, whoever considers that a vacation, I guess can also consider themselves a mother in some way or another. Either way, bitch, the retard's documenting all this on his YouTube and his Facebook, so at least you'll have enough to talk about with your psychotherapist here in a couple months when he finally gets mad enough and kicks you out or beats you half to death and sends your ass back to Virginia where you belong. Because anyone in their right mind can see that you were running from someone or something, and the best that you could do is to come live in this shitbox like nothing more than a stray bitch dog who left her pups for dead. And God help when those kids see their celebrity mother making a total ass out of herself on social media. You make me sick just looking at you, and the smell of carp is one of the few things that Scooter did not lie about.
Yes. Who's the best mom in the world? Who's the best mom in the world?
Obviously she was delusional, and now she was talking out of her head. The bitch would not shut up, so I took a cough drop out of my pocket and unwrapped it and tossed it as hard as I could out into the yard and yelled, "There goes my Percocet!" She ran outside looking for it, and I didn't see her again until I was leaving. And as I left, I told the old bag of bones and the creepy Nazi pedo sitting on the couch that all they were doing was enabling these 2 by supporting them. Obviously, those words were too big for them to understand, so I made my way across the door that was laying down and noticed that the big girl was still digging around in the mud for a pill, and there was a strange man sitting out in his truck talking to himself with the dome light on and claimed to be a newscaster. And I thought, well, have I fell into some type of Twilight Zone? Or maybe, just maybe, I found West Virginia's lost city of Macedonia. This has been Moses Heaps for Rolling Stone Magazine. And now you know most of the story.